1 second here. Okay, and now I'm going to share my screen. That way we can go through the presentation together. Okay, and if at any time you cannot hear me or there's Wi-Fi issues, just maybe put in the chat that we're having some problems. So again, this is our 2022 Girls STP virtual orientation. So we are super excited to provide training for girls in the Chisago Lakes area. We have not done a girl-only camp before. We have done co-ed camps here in Minnesota and Wisconsin, but this is our first ever girl-only camp, and we are super, super excited. So the agenda today is going to kind of follow this format. We will talk about the schedule. I will introduce staff members. We will go over program offers, training program details. We have a bowling policy. We'll talk about drop-off and pickup, first day logistics, and then athlete expectations, special events and weekly camper awards, and then social media, and then we'll give times for questions at the end. So first, let me get into the schedule. We will be training every Tuesday and Sunday from June 7th through July 31st. And as you can see to the right, I'm not going to go over this entire schedule. By now, I think you guys should know the schedule since you're signed up for the camp. Just to be aware, there is no camp the week of July 4th. So we will be taking that week off. It seems like a lot of people like to go out of town, and I think it's a good kind of break for the athletes and for the coaches so they can kind of regroup and come back motivated. So the plan is to skate June 7th. I know that they are putting ice in. We're currently trying to put in ice at the Chisago Lakes Arena because I'm here right now. I'm in the boys' high school locker room. So the plan is to start June 7th. If for whatever reason the ice is not good to go, we will notify you, and then we will push the first date back to a different time, and we'll make sure we get that first day taken care of. So from here, we will go into some staff introductions, and I will let my sister Megan. Megan, feel free to take the floor.
Righty. Right. Can you guys hear me? Perfect.
Yep,
my video wasn't working on my computer, so I'm now on my cell phone. So let me know if you can't hear me. So I am Megan, formerly known as Megan Lushenko, but I got married, so I'm Megan Miller. And I grew up playing hockey in Chisago. I went to 2 national development camps. So my freshman year and my sophomore year, or was it my sophomore or my junior? One of those two. So I got to go out to Rochester, New York, and then I got to go to St. Cloud the second year. So I had a lot of experience with that. I was also a Miss Hockey finalist. So I was in the top 10 for the girls my senior year of high school, which was pretty sweet. And then after high school, I went on to play for Bemidji State. I played 4 years at Bemidji State. And then after college, I've coached in some camps. I coached in Stillwater with my brother, youth through older kids. And then I also coached as an assistant coach for the U10A girls Stillwater team, which was pretty fun with the girls. And then I also teach yoga. So I was the yoga director for the Roseville Youth Association, Hockey Association. So did a lot of yoga tailored to hockey players and helping with their flexibility and different things. But I am so excited to get started this summer with the girls. I worked at my brother's camp last year, but to really focus on the girls this summer is super exciting to me. And my goal with the girls on the ice is, summer camp's always fun, but I'm going to push them a little bit too, because this summer I want the girls to get more confident in their skating strides and just feeling more confident carrying the puck. So I like to say I like to form good players on and off the ice so they can, take some of this from the camp and work on it as they go into their regular seasons. But we're going to have a lot of fun. So any of the girls on the video, I'm excited to have you on the ice with me. And I will hand it back to Corey.
All right, thank you, Megan. I will now go I will cover Jenna Lowry's slide. So Jenna, too, is from Chisago Lakes, grew up in Chisago. She's kind of our associate director, so, she'll be working on ice and off ice. She is a current Division I player for the University of Minnesota Duluth, UMD. They had a really successful season last year. They almost won a national championship. They were super close. I know Jenna's bummed about that, but yeah, better luck next year. So Jenna too was able to participate in the USA National Development Camp, and what that camp is. I know Megan probably didn't get time to describe this, but the USA national team identifies, the top girls across the country, and they bring them in for a weekend tournament. And a lot of girls from that camp will go on to play on the Olympic team and other national tournaments. So, I'm super excited to have both Jenna and Megan a part of the camp because they played not only at the local level, collegiate level, but also the national level. So they've seen some high-end players and been around some high-end coaches. Jenna too, like my sister, she was a Miss Hockey finalist in 2021. And, I couldn't be more excited for the girls doing the camp because I think that we were able to probably put together one of the, most extensive, coaching resumes in terms of having Jenna and Megan out there. Rarely would you see, two local girls come back and run a camp for the girls. So we're super excited about that. And like I said, they have a lot of hockey knowledge between them. And I know they want to share that with the girls. And like Megan said, we're really, really going to push them this summer. You don't get better if you don't make mistakes. You don't get better if you don't push yourself. So I'm super excited for Jenna and Megan to be a part of this. And yeah, we'll go from there. So what our program offers essentially is we'll do over 24 hours of training. That'll be split between on ice and off ice. You will get coaching from former and current Division I players. A big thing we provide too is we will actually bring iPads on the ice and we will film the girls skating. And what we try to do is break down their skating stride. So at about the halfway point of camp, we will film the girls skating in a straight line and film them doing crossovers. And then at the end of camp, we will sit down with the girls and the parents and we'll kind of provide some insight in terms of how you can improve your skating. The reason why we focus so much on skating is because it's the most important skill in my mind for hockey. And it's also probably the hardest skill to develop in hockey. So, for some of the girls who have not got a lot of instruction on skating and how to skate appropriately, we'll definitely be providing a lot of that. We will also do film sessions. So the benefit of me being the boys high school hockey coach here is we have a pretty big flat screen TV, and we will bring the girls into the locker room. We'll watch some film, film on some of the skills they're trying to learn and skills we're trying to teach them. And it seems to be pretty good. I see the athletes being visual learners, a lot of them. So a lot of them like to see someone doing a skill before they attempt it. So we're going to provide that. And then again, we'll provide player evaluation. So at the end of camp, we will sit down with every girl, every family, and we will kind of provide insight in terms of where we see the girls, where they're at, what are their strengths, what are their areas of improvement, and how we can, help them take their game to the next level. So I already talked about the on ice and off ice training. Megan is a certified yoga trainer. So she's been doing yoga for the last several years, and it's a really big piece of hockey now is mobility and recovery. There's also some very big mental health benefits too. Easing anxiety and, centering on your breath. It's really big to, help athletes become mentally aware. We will provide some resources. I will show you those resources at the end of the presentation. And then there's the option to also do private lessons. So if the girls want to work with Jenna or Megan one-on-one, they can do that, and we will offer private lessons. So we'll keep going here. So essentially, through the training program, we want the girls to be faster, stronger. I know the word like bigger with girls can kind of go two ways, but we're trying to add strength, mobility, speed. And I know it can be counterintuitive trying to add strength and trying to be mobile, but I think as hockey players, we are we're so diverse in what we have to do on the ice. So I think it's only important to, have diverse training. So again, we'll focus on skating, shooting, stick handling, off ice. We do a lot of speed development, cardiovascular development. The bottom bullet point is we'll try to make it as fun as we can. So, I think the one thing that I heard from some family members last year who did the other camp before we took over, it was, he said it was a little too fun, wasn't as serious. We take our training very seriously. That's why we kind of have a pretty established name here in Wisconsin. So we will make sure to provide the best training we can. And then on June 12th, I believe it was a Sunday, we're actually going to test the girls. So we will test them in a 5-10-5 shuttle run. and that will assess their lateral quickness. We will also assess them on a 350-yard shuttle run. So at our camp, we do not do a lot of long distance running. Reason being, I'm a firm believer that, you want to be fast on the ice. So if you want to be fast on the ice, you should train off the ice quickly. So when we are doing cardio, it's going to be more shuttle runs. I learned that from Megan, my sister, years ago, but Bemidji State didn't really have her, going out and jogging, 3, 4, 5 miles. Her strength coach wanted them to do shuttle runs and essentially mirror the off ice training like a hockey shift. So a lot of our training will be having the girls push their bodies for about a minute to a minute 30 as hard as they can. And then they will rest for, 2 to 3 minutes, just like a hockey shift. So the training is very focused on hockey players, but, we're also going to improve, overall their athleticism. So we do have a bullying policy. So at our 7-week camp here in Chisago and even in Wisconsin, we do have, unfortunately, campers who do bully. A lot of the bullies or a lot of the bullying happens during transition. So when the athletes are taking their skates off, going to dry land, or from dry land to on ice. So we have a 3-strike system. It seems to work for the most part. We have never got to the 3rd strike in any of our camps, but we have gotten to the 2nd strike. So if there is someone bullying, we will pull the athlete aside and remind them of the expectations. We want everyone to be welcomed. We want to have an inclusive environment, and we want everyone to be, just have a good time. So, and if there's a 2nd strike, that's when I will actually sit down with the parents one-on-one with the athlete and essentially tell you this is your last chance. Because if we get to the 3rd strike, then we'll remove you from camp and we'll reimburse money. So, I think a big thing for our camp too is, although we're trying to build, and develop good hockey players, we're also trying to develop and build good people. So we want to make sure that everyone's respectful and everyone's, being nice to each other. Next slide. So on the first day, the 7th, you will check in at the warming area. For those of you who have never been to the Chisago Lakes Arena, there is 2 doors. When you enter kind of at the front of the parking lot, make sure you go to the door to the left because that will take you into the warming area. Here you will check in. We will give you your t-shirt. If you have yet to submit payments, please make sure you get your money in. And if you are on a payment plan, you've already talked to me, so we're good there. If there is ever a reason why you are going to be late picking your child up or late dropping them off, just give me a text or a call or an email. That way I can kind of, we can plan accordingly because we always plan our training sessions prior to the day of training. So knowing how many people will be at each session kind of gives us a head start in terms of what we can do on and off the ice. So yeah, just communicate that and we'll go from there. So here's, there's a ton of expectations we could throw on the screen, but these are the 3 most important expectations. Girls and parents, make sure that the athletes have athletic apparel. So please do not show up in Crocs or flip-flops because we will run a lot. Be prepared to give maximum effort. We're going to push the athletes as hard as we possibly can. The really good athletes from our area, like the Blake Lazats, the Megan Lashenkels, Jenna Lowry's, those athletes, they really had the internal motivation to really improve and push themselves. So as coaches, we're going to extend ourselves and do everything we can. But at the end of the day, it's going to really come down between, the athlete and themselves and how hard they're going to push themselves to be great. So last thing I want to add too, make sure you bring some snacks and hydration. So, it's 2 hours of training, sometimes can be a little closer to 2.5. So make sure the girls have water bottles. We do not provide those. And make sure they have snacks, maybe like a granola bar is what I've seen the last couple of years. So make sure we have some of that stuff too, because we want them to take advantage of their training. So we do have some special events. We want to make sure that, we are really serious in what we do, but we also want to have some fun on the side. So on June 26th, that will be our USA Day. That's the last day before we take our break. And what we'll do on that day is we'll probably, we'll have some fun on ice. The theme is USA. So whether you're on ice or off ice, wear the red, white, and blue, and be prepared to have some fun on that day. I think last year we provided some ices for the kids. So, if your athlete is unable to have an icy, let me know and we can accommodate. On July 31st, the last day of camp, We will have a beach day. So no, we are not going to the beach. We will always stay at the hockey rink, but we might bring some slip and slides out, and we want to make sure that we celebrate these girls for a good summer of training. So on beach day, wear something tropical. Be goofy and have some fun. We will do a 4th of July contest. I will kind of explain that once we get closer to the 4th. And then we also have a weekly camper award. So every week we will identify one girl from each group who we thought as coaches, obviously put the most work in, athletes who respected their teammates or their peers, who respected the coaching staff. And then we will post that on Facebook and Instagram. We're pretty big on social media. I think it's cool for the parents to see the stuff that their athletes are doing. It's also cool to share so grandpa and grandma can see if you have relatives who are, out of the state. So again, social media, I'll show you in a second, but if you could please follow us on Instagram and Facebook, that would be greatly appreciated. And like I said, in a second here, I'll kind of pull our Facebook and Instagram up and I'll show you what we put on there. But essentially, that's all of our camp content. We try to post at least one picture and multiple videos each week. So make sure you look at that. And then there is time for questions. Not the time right now. Give me 1 second here. So I wanted to pull up our social media. So this is our Facebook page, Lushenko Athletics LLC. And again, here's some pictures from camp. These are our Wisconsin campers. This is, some pictures of beach day. That guy right there looks like Scuba Steve. He got a little crazy. There's Megan doing some yoga with some of our boys. And then, so that's our Facebook page. Our Instagram page, relatively the same. We have videos. So a bunch of cool stuff. We got some really awesome campers coming back to our other camps, so we're super pumped for that. Another thing that we provide with you or for you is videos. So what we'll do is we'll share these videos through our camp, but I went and created 65 shooting drills. We got about 64 stick handling drills, and then we are in the process of adding more videos to our agility drills. The reason why I provide these resources to you is because there's always time for athletes to improve their game. So, like I said, with those really good athletes I mentioned before, they do a lot of stuff away from the rink. If you want to be good, coming to practice, unfortunately, is not enough. You're going to have to go home and shoot pucks. You're going to have to go home and run. So if you're new and don't know really what to do at home, I'll provide those resources. Another thing I want to bring up too is this is our website. On the far right, the resource tab, I don't think many people click on this, but there's some really, really cool stuff in here. So this is about 2 years ago, I interviewed an NHL scout. His name is Keith Hendrickson, and I know me and Keith go way back. I played hockey with this kid in juniors, and we played against each other in college. So it's a really cool video. It's about, 15, 20 minutes, and, Keith kind of dives into what he looks for in players. And obviously at the NHL level, that's the highest level you can play in. So, kind of learning from him and picking his brain was really cool. Another video I did, I actually interviewed an Olympic sprinter. So again, another cool video. It's about 15, 20 minutes in length. The reason why I interviewed this person is because I wanted to make sure that we were doing the correct training for our athletes, because speed is super, super important. So I was able to connect with him in kind of like a podcast type setting and ask him some questions, and it went super well. And then there's one more interview. This is with a professional at the Twin Cities Orthopedic facility, and we just talked about youth athletes in terms of recovery, what type of training they should do. So again, some super cool stuff here. And this is all stuff I want to share with you guys to make the girls better athletes and more prepared for, their winter season. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing right there. And Megan, do you have anything else to add to this, or are we good to go?
I think you did really good. Another thing I wanted to mention real quick is I know quite a few of the girls that won the Olympic gold. Was that a few years ago? I forget even when that was. But I'm planning to maybe get some guest skaters coming in for our camp, some of the USA girls. So I'm not positive right now if they're going to be available. But if they are, that'll be really exciting. And maybe they can bring their medal and show you guys too. So something to look forward to. So I'll keep you guys updated if I can get the girls to come. So that's what I wanted to add. Oh, another thing. We won't be doing yoga, every day. at camp, but some days we will do yoga. So if you guys have a yoga mat, definitely have the girls bring it. Maybe Corey will kind of give the girls a heads up, when we're maybe going to be doing that. But if you do have a yoga mat, it's even just good to have to stretch on after you get off the ice or before you go on the ice. So feel free to bring it. I know there's probably cheaper ones on Amazon if you guys don't have one. And if you don't have one, that's totally fine too. But it's kind of something nice to have for the girls because, we have kind of hard surfaces at the rink. So something to just think about if you were out and about looking to grab stuff for the camp. And that's all I have.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Megan. So I will stop the recording right there, and Megan and I will stick on for as long as you guys need us to, and feel free to ask some questions. But again, we're super excited to work with the girls, super pumped for the opportunity, and we're looking to put a really, really good group together this summer and put some really good training on the ice and off the ice. So thank you for your time. The recording is going to stop there, and please stick on if you have questions. Thank you.